Hello everybody, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is DFree, and in this video we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of the extreme characters that just got added into the game with the most recent update. We're going to go over them, we're going to break them down, we're going to talk about how they're good, what scenarios they're going to be good in as well. Hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new. Let me know if you guys are personally using any of these characters as of right now. But first thing I do want to say is that, I think this batch of extreme characters is really good, like really good. I think that these characters supplement, they're able to support the sparking characters in this game now very well, and I think that they're a lot better than the previous batch of extreme characters that were basically here on launch pretty much. I not really including Krillin because I think he was the only one that came out alongside Broly, but there's a bunch of them now, right, that just came out with the Frieza and Gohan and all that stuff. So we're going to take a look at them. Hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. And let's go ahead and take a look at it. We're going to start off with third form Frieza. He's a purple defense type character. Naturally his strike defense is kind of low. Shout out to Renzi for actually, taking my request and adding these other levels in here. So otherwise critical, I like to use, 800 plus is a nice number. As far as critical chance goes, that gets impacted depending on the characters that are on your team. Otherwise, key restore speed, I like to typically see about 1500. He's basically got that, right? As far as main ability goes, we're going to start getting into what these characters are good at. Causes enemies to receive 35% more blast damage for 15 timer counts, and you have to wait 10 timer counts to use that main ability. First and foremost, these characters have a lot of good main abilities like this. They're either causing the enemy to receive a certain amount more damage via like a special type of ability, like blast damage or strike damage, or they are inflicting more. Now, there is a difference, okay? My understanding, is that, when it's like you cause your enemy to receive, that's a debuff to the opponent, basically. And the other one, where it's like, oh, you inflict more, that's a buff to you, basically. So it should apply even if you were to use this ability, switch out into another character, and then they should still be able to take effect of this for the 15 timer counts, however much is left, right? That's how that should work. Feel free to talk about it in the comments down below. Z ability for this character. Purple element gets the base blast attack increased by a minimum of 17%. Also goes hard against the regeneration units, plus 20% blast damage to the characters that have the regeneration tag, which is, I believe, only Piccolo characters as of right now. Yes, it is. So, yeah, he really hates Piccolos. He's going to be a really times a million hard counter to Green Piccolo, right? He's a really hard counter to Green Piccolo. Also, a very good ally to the Purple Vegeta as well. Very good ally to the Purple Vegeta who excels at blast damage. This character will help him in that because he's able to take usage of this type of Z ability as well. Anyways, cause enemies to take 10% more blast damage, and a 40% chance to inflict bleed. So there are a lot more, status ailments that came into this batch of characters as well. And status ailments are going to be very prevalent in this game as it progresses. I think that characters like Piccolo that can, basically remove those is what it seems, because it says they remove abnormal conditions, which should apply to faint and bleed and stuff like that. They're going to be really good, and I think that just makes those types of characters better because this is going to be running rampant. 40% to do bleed damage is pretty annoying. If you don't know what bleed is, it's basically every, I think, 2 timer counts or so. The opponent will take, or I guess you, if you get inflicted with it, will take additional damage. It's a static number. For example, I had Ginyu, use body change, and he inflicts bleed upon using body change, and it did like 828 damage or something like that every single, time it did the damage. So it's a static thing. So that's going to be very prevalent. Also, your opponent will take more blast damage here. And God forbid they're not a regeneration character because they're already taking more blast damage. They're also taking more blast damage because of the Z ability. And in fact, if you had used your main ability, they're already taking more damage as well. So that's pretty busted. This character is really good. I don't know why he's a defense type. Probably to round out his stats because he really wants to be a blast attack type. I mean, a ranged character. That's what he wants to be. I mean, everything on him says ranged attacker. But they probably just gave him defense just to, I guess, make him more balanced because they located more stats here. I couldn't tell you, but this is a weird choice for me because he's not really doing anything defensively. And, oh, wait, he has an ability to increase his strike damage. Cool. This is totally, I don't want to say worthless because you still have to use your strike cards. It's just kind of like, counterintuitive to the build he has, but still a very good character. And like I said, very hard counter to Green Piccolo. And you know, all characters can counter each other. It's, you know, I was talking about how good Green Piccolo is, and I think he's a little bit better now than he was before maintenance. But the reality is every character in this game can counter each other. Broly, he gets hard countered by Piccolo. You know, Piccolo gets hard countered by Vegeta and characters like this. There are counters to everything. And that's one thing I like about it. And that guy is no exception there, the Frieza. So we're taking a look at another Frieza, and this one's actually range type. And his blast attack is barely higher than the one that's defense type. That's funny. Barely. Key restore speed's basically the same. Critical's just a smidge higher. Anything above like 900 I think is a pretty good number, especially when it starts getting closer to 1K and above. So very solid as well. As far as his character's main ability, plus 45% to blast damage inflicted. So basically, they should add the word right here that says own, plus 45% to own blast damage, because that's pretty much what that means there. I just got an email there, but that's pretty much what that means. You know, this character will do 45% more blast damage, which is why his blast attack is kind of low. Also, it's even with the strike attack now that I look at it. And he doesn't really need that on his kit, although he's even getting a strike attack increase right here. And first and foremost, this character is a really good ally with blue characters like the blue Sparking Goku, who kind of wants to do a little bit more blast attack, you know, strike attack if possible. And Broly, who is like the hardest hitting strike attack character in the game right now, I believe, without factoring in the new characters that are Sparkings that just came in as well. So a very good ally there, but he also hates Broly and his guts because he's anti-Saiyan, plus 15% of blast damage there. Major pierce damage and causes enemies to take 10% more blast damage as well, alongside telekinesis. Renzi, if you're listening, I know you're going to get around to it. You know, guys, Renzi is the creator of the site. I need you to add the strike cards that these characters hold, because it's kind of hard, because, or the cards that they hold, the arts cards, because it's kind of hard to say this Frieza is good, for example, which he would be regardless. But if he's holding like 2 strike cards, that's not super great. He wants to be holding blast cards, at least a 1-1 split. So you get more diversity in your deck when you go into the battle, if you happen to take the Frieza into battle, that is. But otherwise, major pierce damage, enemies take more blast damage, and also immobilization is where I was at. This is really good. Anything that immobilizes in this game is going to be very good going forward, because it allows you to lock the opponent down, stop their movement, and you can switch into another combo. Most notably, you know, you use immobilization, switch into Ginyu for body change. There's a lot of different ways you can use this type of ability. It does not last very long, so you have to have it planned out already, but it's a good ability. It's really good, and any character that can do it gets a little added incentive to the character. So overall, I think that, and also, like I said, this character is good with blue. I think that right now, I think this Frieza is the best character we've looked at so far, but this character isn't very far behind, personally, to me. And part of it, too, comes down to the teams that they'd be available on, and just kind of the characters that would be impacted by them as well. Because, I mean, if we take a look at it, the purple Vegeta is ridiculous. Like, he is one of the hardest, you know, I don't want to say hardest hitting, but one of the best Sparkings in the game, primarily because he counters this guy, and this guy counters this guy, and then this guy counters it, so on and so forth. But the other 2 characters that got added were yellow characters. That's kind of what really shafts this Vegeta, because I think they probably took notice to that the Vegeta was really common. And now we all of a sudden have 3 yellow characters in the game, but still, you know, if this Frieza was yellow, I'd say he's probably better, just because, you know, being a yellow character allows him to be on that team with those characters. But otherwise, he's buffing up the Buff Bob Broly, so I don't want to give him too much flack, but I think he's just a little bit behind, because I think this character has a better main ability. So overall, though, I really like this Frieza, and like I said, immobilization is key. It's awesome. All right, so we're taking a look at Frost now. Frost is a defense type as well. 17k split, 19k split as well in the attacks. Critical, about where I said it should be. You know, it's pretty much normal. Key restore speed on the higher side. You know, not high, not bad. Anything close to 2k is pretty good. Pan, for example, best. I think she's still the best. I haven't looked at the new Sparkings, like I said, but previously the best. There she is. You know, 2624, for example. Even the hero Pan, I think, has pretty good restore speed, wherever the heck she's at. Wherever the heck she's... Okay, there you are. 1,500. Pretty solid number. You know, not crazy good, not bad, but pretty solid. Especially in relation to some of these other characters, because these two, you know, 1,500 here, 1,500 basically there. Frost is going up a notch, 1,800. Causes enemies to receive 30% more strike and blast damage. Best main ability so far in this video. Not even close. causing the enemy to receive that should be, like I said, one of those abilities you can use and then switch into another one because it's basically a debuff to their defenses. So, yeah. You have to wait 15 timer counts, but still really good. Also, one thing to consider with main ability is that you have to take the character into battle, for the main ability, unlike the Z ability. And best Z ability so far, too. Blue characters get a percentage increase to their strike and blast attack. Broly, this is for you, man. Pan, even you too. Goku, you too. Frost is your best friend, everyone. This Frost is really good. Oh my goodness. Why is there doubles? This is the new thing. Doubles? Okay. All of a sudden, we're going to see plus 15% to attack and HP. That's going to be a thing eventually, apparently. Oh boy. Anti-Super Warrior, basically Z fighters like Krillin and stuff. Piccolo. Chaos Ball, major explode damage, causes enemies to take 10% more blast damage. Also immobilizes and inflicts poison. He doesn't just immobilize. This man inflicts poison too, so he's doing both. 2 ailments at once. Very good character. Very, very good character. All of a sudden, he is now the best character that we've taken a look at so far. And I really don't think it's close at all. I thought it was close between the Friezas. I think the Frost is now the best character we've looked at. Let's take a look at Yamcha. Below average key restore speed, but very high critical. Very high critical number there. Seems like Yamcha, he's our first melee type as well. He's going to want to hit you hard and fast. 2400 strike attack there at level 1K, which is the maximum right now. You can see the difference, the disparity when it goes up. 224 at max level ultimately. Gale Force Fist, plus 45% to strike damage inflicted. You have to wait 10 timer counts, so he can do that pretty quickly. Green base blast attack, so all your green characters, including him, Piccolo and stuff like that, will be able to get a bonus there. Unique ability, he has 2. Please don't tell me you're shafted like the previous one with the stupid one. Plus 45% to own special move arts power. Ooh, his Neo Wolfang Fist is going to hit really hard. You have to use it within 20 seconds from the battle starting. Okay, but his Neo Wolfang Fist is going to hit really hard. Against self-destruct. Oh, wow, here they did it again. Plus 50% to self-destruct. When he takes that from Chaozus or Cybermen's, he's going to get destroyed. But they're not very common, so that's good. Deals major slice damage. Okay. Plus 10% to own critical rate, which is very high already. And plus a 50% chance to inflict bleed. Plus 20% to own strike damage. So previously the best extreme melee character in the game was this character. I think that this Goku still kind of is that, just because of the fact he's a Saiyan, he has better strike attack as well, naturally. But, boy, is Yamcha good. This guy is a really, really good melee-type character, just in general. Even factoring in Sparkings, he's on that tier, and he's really good. My issue with this character is that he needs more support. There is not, if you wanted to kind of main this guy, there's not enough going on right now. He's going to be better in the future. But I definitely think he's really, really good. And like I said earlier, all these characters are really good. But if I had to judge him, I'd put him probably at the bottom of my list right now. But I think that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all, because they're all incredibly good. They're all pretty even, to be honest. This is a very balanced batch of units. Really what it comes down to is the characters that are available alongside them already in the game. So we have a ranged Vegeta, 27k. Pretty high number there. Solid defense numbers as well. Pretty solid crit rate. Very good key restore speed as well. That's the issue with Yamcha too. Very, very bad number there. But I'd say 15 or, like I said, 1500 or so I think is a pretty good number. If you have above that, you're pretty good. Plus 45, percent to the blast damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. You have to wait 10 timer counts, okay. Saiyan's base blast attack. So the Saiyans that want to use blast attacks, like Vegeta and I guess Goku too, because he's a range type. This guy's your best friend. All of a sudden, we have another Saiyan character that can slide into them DMs. Blast attack, plus 15% inflicted to the blast attack, so he's very good at it himself as well. Gallic Gun deals major impact damage, causes enemies to take 10% more blast damage, plus 20% to own blast damage. So he's doing everything that this Frieza wants to do. He's doing the exact same things, just basically better, because this Frieza is a defense type. Now, I don't want to compare them too much, but they are doing essentially the same things. He doesn't inflict bleed or anything like that, Vegeta. but he's doing everything this character wants to do as well. So they're very even keel. He's also available for the Saiyan team. So being available for the Saiyan team and being able to buff your Saiyan characters, like your purple Vegetas and stuff as well, but getting the Saiyan bonuses as well. That's why I'm saying, like, this guy can buff your purple Vegeta if you put him on the team, but if you happen to take this guy into battle, you wouldn't be, you know, pressed or anything because there's a lot of good Saiyan characters. The variety of Saiyans is very high right now. You can build anything, you know? So he's a character that's able to get access to those buffs, across the board. So I'd say he's probably the best character so far, just because of the ability to be on those teams right now, personally. So for the last character, Piccolo, defense type, 16k strike, 15k defense to the blast. Very good key restore speed. Very good. Best one so far, I believe. Actually, kind of one of the better ones in the game. It's definitely higher than the other Piccolos, right? Yeah, definitely higher. That guy has a very good key restore speed. So for the Piccolo analysis, I want to actually compare him to this Piccolo. So main ability, restores allies' health by 20% and cures abnormal conditions. Requirement 10 timer counts. All right, restores allies' health by 25%, and you have to wait 5 more timer counts for that additional 5%. So they're already doing the same thing off the bat. Z ability, yellow characters' health restoration plus a percentage. Z ability here, green base strike defense, so the Piccolo is a better tank, basically. But this Piccolo will essentially heal more with it's basically doubling up on this. Isn't that what that's saying? You know, at Z ability 1, he'd be getting 17% more regen with this ability. And of course, characters like Piccon can benefit from that too if you happen to use them together. So, and of course, there are several new, I was looking at them, but there's also the Gohan and the Frieza, and they would be able to benefit from that too. So all of a sudden, this is a really good Piccolo. Like, he's really, really good. So anyways, unique ability. Let's go ahead and compare those. This Piccolo actually has a second one. So they both cover, it looks like, reduce damage received by 50% until the combo ends, +2 to own substitution count, and reduce damage by 40%, so 10% less, and ends when changing cover. Yeah, same thing. And +2 to the own substitution count as well, but the Sparking Piccolo, does have anti-Saiyan, so he really goes hard at the Saiyans like Broly. This is why he's a hard counter to Broly, too. Special Beam Cannon, major pierce damage, and enemy receives 15% more blast damage. So that, coupled with the anti-Saiyan, is why he's really good. But again, same thing here. Major impact, major pierce, actually. You know, unlocked form, plus 15% to own strike and blast. Really good, actually. Plus 15% to strike and blast. Inflicted for 30 timer counts. So the difference between these two is kind of what I was talking about earlier with the Friezas. This should apply to your other characters. So this is a really good one. This is basically a debuff. This one's a buff for you. Now, the reason why I wanted to do it that way, and let me last little bit, compare their stats. 140k HP versus 127. Defense numbers, 16, 15, 18, 17, plus the Z ability, though. And then attack numbers is 21 and 20 versus 14 and 15. So this Piccolo is basically this Piccolo light. Like, it's literally that Piccolo, just not as good. So that immediately makes this character jump into probably the top 2 for the breakdown of this video. So if I had to number them off, I'd say Vegeta first due to the availability. Like, if we're not factoring in teams, my entire list changes. I'd probably put third form Frieza towards the top. And then Frieza, and then Piccolo and stuff like that. So I'd say Vegeta, then Piccolo, then Frieza, then Frost. Matter of fact, I'd say Frost before the third form Frieza. And then we'd go Yamcha, and then this Frieza right here. Just because Frost is a thing. Like, there's no reason why you use this Frieza if you have Frost. So that's kind of how I break this down. Those Piccolos are really good. The new Piccolo especially is really, really good. He's basically Sparking Piccolo, just not as good, like I said. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that subscribe button. If you happen to be new for more content, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll catch you all in the next one.